Blessed to know the best at all times. Oh my God, it's your guy Red Butler with that pretty left hook hitting you in your goddamn liver. Oh my God, I got my man today, Michael Venom Page. MVP is what they call you. Is that a title or is that your actual nickname?
That's a nickname. It's a nickname.
Okay. It's looking like a title right now.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm taking it over.
I'm telling you, man. First and foremost, do you like New York City? Welcome to New York City. How many times have you been here? Do you get down in the streets out here? You kick it? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, the first time I came out here, I was about 8 years old. I got some friends and some family over here. Okay. And they were showing me around. I went to a couple of the schools.
Nice.
Yeah, and stuff. So,
we're talking Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, all over?
They're in the Bronx.
Okay. You're from the Bronx?
Yeah.
Yes. MVP in it, man. Your father, if I'm not mistaken, was a martial artist.
Yes,
is a martial artist.
Yeah.
Siblings as well. Talk about growing up in a family of martial artists, because for me, it's reminiscent of like Andre Berto, who also has a father prominent in martial arts, siblings as well. Was that literally the maturation to becoming the MVP today, or you had them in your family, but you just wanted to do this anyway?
No, 100%. That is why I'm here today, and why I'm capable of doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
It's weird having everybody do martial arts, because when you get into fights, it's quite technical.
Absolutely.
It's quite technical. The thing is, we've always kind of gotten on, but anytime we do get into fights, it's serious.
Big time.
We had so much fun. All my best memories when I was young is because we were traveling to, Manchester, Birmingham. We were going to Bristol, flying over. We went out to Ireland. We went to Scotland. Like we were just traveling non-stop, meeting all people that you just wouldn't normally see if you're just in one area all the time. People you just wouldn't get to see, and just like I just loved it. I had some amazing times, and then as well as just competing. And honestly, out of all my siblings, I wasn't one of the best at all. Like
really?
At all. Like I remember going to competitions, and they're coming back with multiple medals, and I'm just like,
what? And what martial art discipline are we talking about?
We did a freestyle kick. I actually started in Laogai Kung Fu.
Okay.
And it was big back then, with the Jet Lees, Bruce Lees, Jackie Chan's. That was all in the cinemas over there, and everybody wanted to do what they did.
Big time.
So that's how my parents kind of got into it. They took it very serious, and then we were kind of raised through that. And yeah, man, like this just been my life.
Right. Who's the best out of all the siblings?
I think I got the title now.
Okay.
I've
humble brag real quick. I
brought it back right now. But at the time, I think I'd say CJ he's like the oldest sibling.
Okay.
Boy. But my sister, she used to she was it. But she bossed us around as well. Like,
wow.
As one of all of our siblings, we couldn't ramp with.
And you're the youngest?
No, I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of 7 of us.
Nice.
In the middle, yeah.
And Trinidadian father, if I'm not mistaken? Jamaican moms?
Yep.
Now, we got to talk about this, because in the Caribbean, it's not really well known, obviously, for martial arts. I'm good friends with Sean Roden. He's a friend of the Shadow League. He's Mr. Olympia right now for bodybuilding.
Wow.
So 2 unconventional athletes in relation to where you guys are from naturally in the sport. But just talk about that. Is that weird for you, number one, being Caribbean descent, but also being this martial artist? And when you go back to the islands, if you do go, is there like a crazy reception because you're so rare?
No, weird enough, it's funny you say that. When I go back, not really. It's only the family, the family that we're in touch with that kind of know that are like pumped about it. They love it. Like Trinidad, they celebrate anything.
Yeah, anything.
Anything. This is why
we love this, by the way. It's a lot of feathers and
listen, the prices all year round is a problem because they're always celebrating. But yeah, it's usually the immediate family that are kind of pumped about it. And as you say, it's not that popular over there in general. I know they're trying to create a little circuit over there, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to kind of get out there. But because I'm from the UK. In terms of me, although that's my family heritage, because I'm from the UK, it didn't feel abnormal to do, because everybody was doing karate or judo or kickboxing or kung fu at the time.
Absolutely.
And from there we kind of crossed into freestyle kickboxing, and that's where we were doing all our competitions from. And I've been competing since the age of 5, and it's just been non-stop.
Now I know obviously you were a kickboxer, but during that time at some point you realized I need to go into MMA or evolve into a mixed martial artist. Was that impetus mainly because of market share, want of notoriety, or because you look at kickboxing today with Glory and stuff, it's popping, it's back, it's here. Do you look at that decision and say, you know what, maybe I'll even go back to kickboxing, or is this really like it's about MMA?
It's weird because the type of kickboxing I did, because the umbrella of kickboxing, there's so many different arts. Vast, you know what I mean? So I was doing a thing called freestyle kickboxing, which is more it's less about the power and it's more about the speed. So again, it just on that alone, like people used to take the piss out of us all the time. Like, you guys ain't really fighters. You guys can't, you know, if you come up against guys that actually really hit, because it was all about points. It was all about scoring points. But they just didn't appreciate until, let's say, like people like myself coming out and actually just demonstrate it in the full contact world. They didn't appreciate the attributes you get from just focusing on speed itself. And speed is power, man. Some of the hardest shots that I've received even to date is still in the freestyle world, just because you guys are exploding forward at each other at crazy speeds and you're landing. But again, just from on camera, it doesn't look as appealing. We're in head guards and this and that, so it just doesn't look as appealing as it would, because people are, especially for combat sports, they're bloodthirsty. You know, they want to see somebody sleeping all the time, and it just that wasn't the element. It's
funny you're saying that. It reminds me of football. Like, they always want to take the helmet off and make sure, like, you see me?
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha.
Celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, plus MMA got that sexy drip right now. That shit is popping right now, baby. We're in MMA.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, man. Like, first and foremost, you out here wrecking shit, man. You wrecking shit.
Trying.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
We're over here in America. We see what's going on. I know you fought in America like, what, 7 times or so?
Yeah.
But still, it was like your profile has raised considerably every year.
100%.
To the point where, and I mean, I'm going to point this out, obviously, the Evangelista Cyborg Santos fight was phenomenal in relation to just the impact.
Yeah.
Walk me through just that moment, and do you feel like that was, in essence, a breakout moment for you?
100%. I just because the pure, like the next day, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it was
you were definitely a meme.
Yeah, man, I was everywhere. I was everywhere.
Sure.
I think it was #1 trending on Facebook for the next week. And it didn't slow down. Obviously, there's multiple elements to that. The injury was very bad.
Yes. Shout out to Cyborg.
Yeah. The timing of the jump knee, and then the Pokemon thing as well.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
we gotta get into that.
So there was 3 elements to it that kind of just kept it up there. So yeah, it was crazy at how far it spread to, but it's weird at the same time, because like, even now there's certain people that, although they have seen that clip, if they had met me, wouldn't know that was me. So it's a weird one, unless you were actually involved in MMA, as in you follow the sport. There's people that you know, I've been speaking to, and you know, they have a conversation. They're like, yeah, okay, you do MMA? Oh, crazy, that, yeah. I don't really follow it too much, and you know, I've seen this and that. And someone was like, oh yeah, he's the guy that did that, the Pokemon. Oh, you're the Pokemon man. Oh my god. So they know that,
right?
You know what I mean? So, but they don't. You know, it was not necessarily tied to my name.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to kind of.
Pokemon might owe you a check for this.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm telling you.
Putting them on a little bit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, how'd you feel during that moment? I mean, did you just see that moment in time and just was like, it's right here? Or was it literally just pure adrenaline?
No, I'm going to give just everything to why that actually happened the way it happened to my coach. Because as soon as we received the name, he was like, okay, we're going to be training jump knees. Like, this one we know. And every
something.
Every time Cyborg throws his overhand, he leans into it. He likes to throw his head first and then almost bowl over the top of himself. And it can be difficult to get away from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you can kind of misjudge get the timing wrong, because his head's there first, and then you try to get back, and then the arm's still traveling towards you.
Sure.
So he was like, yeah, instead of going back, we're going up. You're going up, and you know, if worst comes to worst, he hits your chest, but you got the knee on. And it was down to him. Every single spar, I had to land a knee. Every single time, no matter who we brought in, I had to land a knee. And it was just the timing of it. I'd never put it in. It was just getting the jump of it, and yeah, we were looking for it. I had told her, I can't remember what interview I was doing, And I was speaking to them and saying, he was like, "Oh, how do you reckon you're going to finish?" I was like, "Yeah, he's going to throw a punch, I'm going to jump, and then he's going to fall on the floor." And that was it. And that's all I said. Yeah,
and that was in London, right?
That was in London, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. How was that moment for your fans and just the locals?
Yeah, again, like for me, I didn't realize how big it was going to be until I actually saw how big it was. But the energy in that room was unbelievable. Like, and it started. It was good energy in the room, but the way it built at the end, just everybody. And even watching back the videos, you still get the little tingles, and you know, just watching back the video, you could see
all 20 seconds of
it. You could see the energy, man. It was like it was amazing. So that was good fun there.
Absolutely. The UK fight scene in general. I mean, you guys are popping right now. You got Anthony Joshua, of course, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, the others. But do you guys talk? Like, do you find yourself actually networking within your peer group of fighters across all disciplines?
It's hard because it's everyone just even trying to communicate and connect when you're in the same discipline is difficult. Everyone's got their own tasks and their own, you know what I mean, their own agendas with what they're doing. So it's difficult. But I've come across the majority of them.
Nice.
And then we speak, and a lot of people, you can see that we appreciate each other for the work and stuff. So again, it's nice because sometimes you don't even know if they, because they're in a different discipline, you don't even know if they're even following. So
you sparred with like Chris Eubanks, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
junior, I mean. Yeah,
the junior. Yeah. So I sparred with him. I sparred with James DeGale. They're fighting soon as well. So I sparred. Yeah. So a lot of the times we do cross network in some way, shape, or form, but not necessarily spend the most amount of time together.
Okay. Yeah, big time. Bellator has really championed the tournament format, especially in relation to its competitor. And now you're entering the welterweight tournament. This is going to be huge. Before we get into that and what that is, we got to talk about Paul Daley because this is first round for you guys, and this is a match everybody's been wanting to see. When I saw that they matched it up, I was like applauding Scott Coker for jumping this off this way. First of all, don't let us wait and leave nothing to consequence. First and foremost, what is the maturation of the problems or beef, if there is even a beef, on your end with Paul Daley?
Oh no,
Semtex.
There's beef.
Okay.
And it's Tampax. I'm just gonna correct you there. Just saying.
He said that.
There's beef. There's beef. I genuinely don't like him at all.
Where did this start from?
I just felt disrespected in one of the interviews that he had done, and it literally kind of escalated from there. It was nothing drastic and nothing crazy happened. It was literally that. And then when I was kind of like, okay, let's fight, I didn't hear nothing back. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna attack you online. And
when you said let's fight, you're talking about through the media or like your personal social?
No. Actually, let's make it happen then. If you feel that you're on a different level to me, then let's make it happen and show the world that. Didn't really respond. So I started just teasing him. But I'm very playful with that kind of stuff online. And obviously he took it a lot worse again, and it just kind of built up from there.
Man. Really? and I want to even say, one time I think he fought, and then as he was leaving the cage, you guys had a little skirmish, so to speak, verbal.
Not really though, but it's just the way it looks on camera. But when you actually see it, I'm nowhere near him. Okay. I'm nowhere near. I think he make it seem like it's a bit more than it was, saying I was there and I was kind of trying to get to him, and then he ran out, and I was stood still the whole time. Right. Even as it was happening, there was no point me trying to run through 100 people to get you. I already knew this was not going anywhere, so I just stood there. I found it funny. I found it more entertaining than anything. Right. And again, almost it felt tactical at the beginning, but then afterwards I was like, I don't rate him to be that smart. I think he's just a very impulsive person. Right. So what I mean when it felt tactical is he had just lost the fight. Right. So it felt like let's just distract everybody from that terrible performance that he had. Now Roy McDonald's is an amazing athlete, and it was what it was, but I feel like it was a distraction. But like I said, I don't feel he's that kind of smart. So it was an impulsive reaction, and just he throws strops. I'm annoyed that I've lost, so let me just take it out on whoever. Got you.
Were you a Paul Daley fan at any time? I mean, this guy definitely was a knockout artist.
No, I didn't. I wasn't really into mixed martial arts like that. So even when I got into MMA, the reason I made the decision to get into it is because I like to be a student. I like to learn new things, especially when it's physical. Like I've done skiing, I've done cricket, I've done tennis, I've done like there's not one sport I haven't tried and haven't been into.
Not trying to be funny, but all those other sports, I'm just looking at you like kneeing somebody with a tennis racket or some shit with a fucking like I see you doing something crazy on snow right now. But go ahead.
But yeah, so I went into the mixed martial arts because I said to myself, look, I can learn a lot of new. You have to. You can't just go in there and think you're just gonna kickbox. I can learn a lot of new arts, and even when I was doing it for ages, and still didn't really learn any really, but because I wasn't watching it.
Sure.
I was the typical fan that was just like, if they're on the floor, I don't care. Like sure. I'm not interested. It's boring until I started to do the jiu-jitsu and started to learn, and then I was like, they're on the floor, and I'm still like, oh no, he's nearly got. Oh no. Like you got new eyes.
Absolutely.
But it's only through being on the MMA circuit in the UK that his name came up.
Okay.
So it wasn't somebody I had to watch before. And then
so you didn't really watch the Cage Rage?
No, I didn't watch any of that until afterwards. I kind of watched back on certain fights. Like people would be like
studying mainly.
Yeah, it was just because people would in the gym would talk about and back then when and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I have to go and watch it now. But it's only when something came up. You know what I mean? So I've never really watched him like that. So yeah, I've never been a fan.
Yeah.
But found out who he was through just doing it.
Interesting. Tournaments, of course, Bellator. So they've championed the tournament format. Do the tournaments get you up a little faster in terms of like your preparation? Meaning, look, I know this is laid out, the pathway. I'm watching other folks get it in, and I might get the belt this way versus just one-on-one straight to the belt. Like, what one is more enticing to you in relation to like?
Well, I come from a tournament format, and the tournament format in this, it actually also means that I know roughly when I'm going to be fighting as well, because it's the unpredictableness of this sport can be absolute pain. Like just trying to book a holiday, is ridiculous. The amount of times that me and my partner have booked to go away, and then I have to keep going back to her like, they moved the fight. And she's just like
messing up plane tickets.
Yeah, exactly. So again, we always try to book with a bit of like being tactical and seeing if we can move flights or get refunds on it and making sure you have all those insurance. But it's difficult to go in here. So a lot of the times that as soon as I fight, I make sure I go away from them because the likeliness is I'm not going to be fighting again for X amount of time.
Right.
But it is difficult. But now you have a rough understanding of how to. It's going to be a bit easier to navigate what I'm going to do personally as well. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Rich Chew, Scott Coker, you're keeping my man's travel insurance on swollen right now. We're calling you out, matchmakers. Absolutely. Ryan Bader crushed it.
Oh, yeah.
He's the dopest heavyweight next to Daniel Cormier right now, probably in the space, through a tournament format. Do you hope from this tournament that people are going to say, wow, that is the welterweight?
Now, people will say, and there's going to be a lot of people that are in support of the fact that I'm there.
Sure.
But there's always going to be people that just don't want to, especially if they were the ones to be like, he's never going to do this or he's not going to. There's always going to be a reason for them to continue that hate. Sure. There's always going to be a reason. Well, he didn't do this, or it was a lucky punch in that last round. Let's see if he can fight this person, and it'll be somebody that you'll be like, well, how does that make sense? Like, where did that come from? But they just always need some until this, if I was to lose, touch wood, that's when they're gonna be like, see, I told you. And it doesn't matter what I've done in the past. It's like they're just waiting for me to trip up somewhere down the line, and I just don't care about those people anyway. So I just got to keep doing me. Like, this is my journey. I'm doing it for myself and the people that I love and care about around me.
It's interesting you say that because I don't see you having a lot of haters right now, man. And the reason I say that, and you know what's so funny that you mentioned that, because when I look at you, I'm going to call out Israel Adesanya based on what he just did, obviously. You guys, like, they always talk about the evolution of mixed martial artists, right? So they like to point at John Jones as, oh my God, look what he can do with his elbows.
Yeah.
You definitely have that same ethos around you. But people aren't saying that in a negative connotation. They're kind of just saying, like, that's the next level too. But do you feel hate as well? Cause
no, there's for me, I'd say when I first dropped on it, I'd say it's like 90% of people hated it. What? Hate the app. No,
that's crazy.
Absolutely hated it because they're just like, that doesn't work. No. Right. And I actually remember even people that were in support of it were still kind of skeptical. A guy walking up to me, he had spotted me while we was just walking down the road. He had spotted me. Oh yeah, you're the guy that was fighting. He's like, oh, let me ask you a question. You see that, like that first fight, that was just like put on, like
right.
That was fake, wasn't it? I was like, no. What do you mean? He's
right.
Like, they paid the guy, or I said, how much could I pay you to kick you in your face? Like
man.
That. And he's like, oh yeah. That's like people still
that's crazy.
Were deluded, and just because of the fashion I do it in.
Right.
People are like, that's not real, man. That's movie stuff, or that's like wrestling type thing.
Sure.
And yeah, like I got a ridiculous amount of hate, and it's completely changed over, but it's still there.
And you're saying like more in the industry, or do you think the fans themselves?
No, the fans themselves.
The keyboard warriors.
Yeah. Okay. They a lot of people, they just don't like change, full stop. So as much as they're like, oh, that could be the next thing of the evolution of MMA, sure. Until it's actually in the evolution, it's not gonna be. You know what I mean? They still question it.
Right.
And anything that's not the conventional is eventually going to be found out.
Copy.
And that's their mindset.
Yeah, but haters aside, you're still, I mean, you have to still know you're probably inspiring a new generation 100%. Of kids that are like, I could do that too?
Yeah.
I mean, speak on that. Do you even see that in the gyms that you work out of? Do you see
100%. If you see a lot of even the guys in my gym and their movement. And it's funny, I had a couple of guys that I used to train, and they were asking if they could come and train with me now in the mixed martial arts. So I was like, yeah, no, come down, do some sparring. We always like, love that.
Right.
And they came down, and these guys are from the freestyle point, so they moved, they moved the same, and they're bouncing the same. And they came into the gym, and they had been going off to like a couple of a couple of Muay Thai gyms, and saying how they were getting the better of people just because of the movement and stuff, and they didn't understand it. And they came to my gym now, the London Shoot Fighters. And they were fighting some of the guys there, and I was just like, what is going on? These guys are moving like us.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
And it's because they've seen something that's worked. My coach is a genius with that as well. He's just like, it works. I'm gonna spread it to everybody in here. It's not just that's just you. And all of our guys, they come from the the Muay Thai, and it's just a power kickboxing, and they can all move now. And it might not be like the exact same as me, but it takes effect in their fights. They understand distance more, because having to fight me all the time is that you either try to match that pace, or you're just getting hit without success all the time.
Damn, do you go that hard too in training as well?
It's just non-stop. We spar all the time.
You call it the tricks?
Everything.
Okay.
No, everything. It's when we spar. It's like we're going. Obviously, if someone gets injured or hurt, we have to stop and make sure it's not like we're still ground and pounding people.
Absolutely.
But when we go and it's funny because we go to other gyms and stuff, and my coach doesn't like. He's like, no, he says to the guys, start hard, start aggressive, and they're like, oh no, I'm not warm. He's like, well, warm up. Like, go warm up now, because we start on 100. It doesn't. We don't do this pitter pat play and warming up type thing. He said, no, we start at high speeds.
That's crazy.
We're just that gym's known for it now.
Nice. So let's talk boxing. You're 2-0.
Yes.
Okay. And you signed David Hay, Richard Schaefer, and all those guys? Yeah,
it's just with them, it's just a individual deal. So, because they understand I got commitments elsewhere, they didn't want to try and tie it into like a long, drawn out contract. They're just like, look, we're happy to work with you, and we can benefit each other. So, when you're ready to box, we'll sign a deal. You'll box.
Right. What's the weight class?
Super middleweight.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people in boxing are like, there's no way you're a super middleweight. But I was like, that's just the equivalent of what I would be in the mixed martial arts, but they just don't get that kind of weight cut. They don't understand it, because they don't necessarily cut that much weight when they box.
Absolutely. Would that be like the weight class, or would you even look at going down to middleweight or even up to light heavy?
Oh, I'll definitely light heavy, cruiser. I've sparred so many different like weight divisions in boxing. I actually feel like there's not too many different things that is dangerous. It's the left hand, right hand. So I have a bit more time to be a bit more playful, a bit more creative in my movement.
Sure.
But the power level of these guys, though, because they're just constant.
Yeah,
they're just
it's different.
It's different, man. Because they're just constantly just beating their hands on pads and this and that. The speed and the power in their hands is on another level.
And after training, you know, kickboxing, obviously MMA, do you feel like boxing is the one that you're gonna have the longest curve to learn?
Not really. I think if I actually invested more time in it, I could get more output in my arms. But if I did that for the sake of doing that, it would affect my MMA. Like I'll slow down, and it's weird how you know you can be focus on kicking and then your punches drop and this, and you're just constantly trying to do this in training. Levels. This is why it's so difficult. One week I feel absolutely amazing doing jiu-jitsu, and the next week I just feel like I've forgotten just everything.
Damn.
It's such a frustrating game just to train in. Right. You know what I mean? It's difficult. It's difficult, but at the same time, that's the game as well. I enjoy.
Yeah, it's the challenge.
Yeah, just keep notching everything up, just a little bit by bit. Right. But because it's mixed martial art, that is still the primary and the focus. I can't just just say no. I'm just gonna do unless I signed a massive boxing fight.
Sure.
Then my training is dedicated to boxing, and you'll see the difference in how I would box, and 100% you see the difference in the output of power that I'd be able to get.
Right.
But while that's not really a focus, and the only reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to call somebody out.
Sure.
And when I was calling them out now, everyone's like, not interested because you haven't got a record. So I was like, okay, if you want me to do it the hard way, I'm still coming for you, but if you want me to do it the hard way, I'll do it the hard way.
So is the goal to, I mean, obviously to get a belt in MMA, but is the goal to get a belt in boxing at some point? Or, because, now we're in the post-Mayweather-McGregor phase where you can just get a big-ass bag for fighting the right dude.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
In all honesty, I would like to have a belt and be like one of the first to have a belt in both.
That'd be huge.
You know what I mean? And just like I said, for me, it's constantly reminding people that my style is effective just anywhere. Like it's just effective for combat.
Right.
And that's probably one of my number one focuses. Aside of just enjoying it, and finances, for me, if you're good at something, finance will come. So I'm not chasing money.
Right. Chasing passion.
Just the passion. Yeah. It's a difficult sport to do. You wouldn't do that just if you're chasing money, and mostly people won't last.
Right.
If that's your focus and you don't get paid well at all at the beginning, you are not staying in this sport. You know what I mean? So you have to be passionate about it. You have to enjoy it.
Who was your favorite fighter growing up? And that could be boxing. I mean, I'm sure you didn't even follow MMA, so let's say boxing.
Boxing is Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea. That was my guy, man.
Absolutely.
And it's weird. I was never, again, for me, I just for some reason just never really got into any. I never get sucked into one sport and get obsessive about it. Right. I'll do it for a little bit and then change, and I'm watching this and then I'm watching that and I'm watching this. So, but when I got in and I was watching boxing for a period, I was killing his videos, man. Like killing his videos. And I just used to love the style. The style.
Who's your favorite active boxer today?
Lemonchenko. Yeah.
Matrix.
No, Matrix. Serious, man. He's Neo.
Yeah, he is.
He is Neo. He took both pills.
Right.
And he's amazing. Like his movement, and it's a different representation of what I'm doing as well.
I was gonna say that. I mean, his similarities are crazy.
Yeah, he's just going by his movement. So he's capable of doing stuff that just doesn't make sense sometimes. And the amount of times he's made people wave that white flag and just be like, I just want out. Right. And I understand the frustration that people feel, because I know I give that to a lot of people as well during fights. And his movement is insane. Insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What music does Michael Venom Page listen to get hyped up for this stuff, man?
You know what? I go by whatever I'm feeling at the time. Okay. Sometimes I feel like I'm jumping the gun a bit, and I'm a bit too pumped.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fling on some Etta James.
Okay. My man, shout out to Brian. He was listening to classics earlier today.
Yeah, man. Just like mellow myself down. And sometimes I want to be pumped, and I'm listening to the grime music in the UK.
Bro,
or
we like this grime music.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
They're doing big things, man.
They're
doing big things.
Stormzy. We know about these guys. Skepta.
Yeah.
Obviously, we look at what's my man's name? The radio DJ.
Oh
man,
I just lost him.
Tim Westwood.
Oh, Westwood. He's old school though.
Yeah, we get that over here. Like we like all that stuff, man.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I know. So that's like Funkmaster Flex for us. OD.
Yeah.
But we still love it. We still like the classics.
Of course.
21 Savage. You know this guy?
Of course.
Yo, he's British. What happened? We thought he was from Zone 6. East Atlanta shorty. That day, were you guys like, yo, we got one?
No, it's
he was hiding in plain sight.
Nah, it's funny. I feel bad though. I feel bad because everyone's blowing up. The memes. I'm dying.
The memes were everywhere.
The memes are going crazy. But it's actually my missus. She was actually like, she thought, let me do some research into this.
Okay.
And
shout out to Brian again.
I'm telling you, I feel bad because he I think he came over when he was like 7 or something. Right, so he was very young.
And his parents are from the Caribbean too.
So there you go. So they were, I think it's his parents in that position that's supposed to do his papers. No 7-year-old's going to be walking in like, oh, is this correct and signing here. Right. They obviously didn't do that. Right. And that's why he's classed as an illegal citizen. But as a kid and being there so long, that shouldn't even exist.
And he has kids here.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
That just shouldn't even exist. It's funny.
It is funny.
It is very funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought his accent was gonna change the day they got busted. He was gonna be like, my bad.
One of my friends, he posted something online. He was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds in my bank account. In my bank account, pounds. So I was just like, yeah, that's crazy. I was cracking up, man. It is funny. It is funny, but I feel bad for him at the same time.
And he did him dirty during the Super Bowl week. Like, I think it was Super Bowl day.
Oh yeah, it was on a day, wasn't it? It was on a day. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
crazy.
it's just it's unnecessary, and I think they've gone way over the top with it.
Absolutely.
They should have just looked at the situation. They should have been like, okay, that makes sense. Like just maybe sort these papers out, and then we can just keep moving forward as normal. But it's not like he was a big grown man that came to the country and decided to just not stay here, just to just stay here and just not leave and go back. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
Crossing the party line a little bit, did you watch the Anderson Silva-Israel Adesanya fight?
Yes, yeah.
What'd you think about that, man? I mean, you have like two schools of thought with that fight. Some that were like, this is beautiful, it's like ballet. Like you have people that are literally like crying, like they want to, oh my God. Then you have the other folks that are like, yo, he's not all that. Like, Israel Adesanya's not all that.
Yeah, but this is fans are just fickle, man. I don't believe they realize how good Anderson Silva was, and he just proved that. For even regardless of his age, regardless of he's probably not. He's not the best Anderson Silva we've seen. He still caused someone that is a talented fighter a lot of trouble.
Yes,
a lot of trouble, and it was. I'm one of those people that it's beautiful, man. It's good. Some of the stuff it was really nice to watch. It was really nice to watch, man. I did enjoy the fight. I felt like it should have been longer. Like I wanted 2 more rounds. I wanted to, because there was points where Anderson Silva was coming back, and it was just really good to see. It was really enjoyable, and I could feel the respect at the same time.
Yeah, it was pretty memorable.
So that was nice. That was very nice, and I feel like it ended in the right way, because I was worried that Anderson Silva's, he might be pushing it a bit too much, and he's gonna end up either getting hurt or.
Right.
But he showed that he's still capable, 100%. Right. And it felt like he almost just like, I'm passing the torch to you. So although, nothing drastic happened, but it's like, nice, okay, you won. Like keep going from there. You know what I mean? So it was nice. It was nice.
Do you feel that Fedor is fighting for too long? Like, I mean, no disrespect to Ryan Bader's win, but was it also a bit of ageism? I mean, what do you think about even Fedor in terms of legacy and all that?
You could say it was, but at the same time, look how many people he beat to get to Bader in the first place.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to say. I'm sure there's still gonna be. I feel like your chin is never gonna be the same as you get older. So you're gonna always run that risk, but. Is his body capable of still potentially knocking another person out? Yes, because he's done that. And even when he had a little back and forward with Chael Sonnen, like he was showing some very good mixed martial arts skill, and he shows very good experience in what he was doing.
True.
And Chael Sonnen is an amazing wrestler, and for him to not necessarily out wrestle him, but he was competent on the floor and stuff. It just shows his experience. So it's hard to say. I think athletes in general do tend to leave or stay in a bit longer than they should, and it's because they're passionate about it, and it's hard to leave. And if you haven't set up something for after, where do you get that adrenaline rush again from? It is a drug. Like being in there, even for me, like being in there is just, I love everything about it. The crowd, the lights, that it puts you in a place where very few people can achieve that again or get that from just anything. So if you've kind of stopped and you might just be teaching, and you're craving that same thing again. So you're like, let me just have one more fight.
Right.
I can have one more. And it's a shame that there's not everybody gets to then follow up and do something else, with their career. But each to their own. Everyone's different.
Absolutely. Clearly, 50 Cent is working with Bellator on some levels. Get the strap man himself.
Get the strap.
We're gonna see any MVP 50 Cent collabos in the future, man. Some promos, some videos, something.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna force it.
Yeah,
put it out
I'm putting it in the universe for you too.
Put it out there.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do business, definitely.
No doubt. MVP, man. It was really good to have you here, my
thank
brother.
you.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
man. I've been waiting to see you too, bro. For real. And I will be watching this Saturday, like all you will, to be fool.
Oh, yes.
When you get against Semtex Daily, you called him something else. I ain't gonna do that. C4 is what we say over here. Oh my God. Abdul, sorry. Oh my God. That was your pre-left hook hitting you in your goddamn liver. Thank you, Michael Venom Page.
Thank you so much.